So these ideas of gods and goddesses, we don't have to apologize for it, but we must know how we have created them, why we created them, then you are safe. Suppose you say, no, 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 there is somebody called Saraswati sitting in the heaven, then they say, where is the address? Richard Dawkins will come after you. What's her address? Does she live behind Mars? Where is she? And you are saying, I don't know. But when you say, it's my projection, for me to relate to the idea of education, learning, I project this marvelous idea and build relationship with it, so I become more kind of empowered and educated. Then nobody can blame you, provided you know how you created it, why you created it, and what are its limitations. If somebody says, what's the address, Saraswati? You say, I don't know. See, this ability to step away, to realize that we have used the iconography, and yet it is a limited iconography, and it can be challenged. Same is true with, say, the law of gravitation. You see, this Newtonian ideas, G, M1, M2, or R space is down the tube now, it's outdated. They moved away. It was useful for a certain period. Now it's no longer, it's Einstein's relativity. So Newtonian gravitation is outdated. So you see, the same way, when you have this iconography, you realize its limitation. You may outgrow it. For example, a person like me, I have great difficulty relating to a personalized God. I cannot go in a temple tinkle bells. I see God in humanity, in myself. So the idea of seeing spirit within here and there is my way of relating to spirituality. I can't relate to gods and goddesses. But then suppose you ask your parents or your grandparents, oh, no God in heaven. They say, go, I'll hit you with a stick. So that is their way. It doesn't mean they're wrong. This is how they're trying to grasp reality or grasp their own nature. Let it be. Don't undermine it. I never undermine my parents when they say, Mom, I like Mother Goddess. I say, oh, good, Mommy, carry on. Tinkle bells. But then for me, it doesn't relate. So as you grow up, as humanity grows up, this idea of a personified God is struggling with the challenges of science and rationality. Once you recognize it as a ploy, you are safe. If you don't recognize it as a ploy and you think it's a real thing, look, that is why almost 90% of the youth are atheists, because they say there's a God in the heaven. They say, where is it? That's nonsense. Straightway hits them in the face. It doesn't agree with the common sense. So they're going to reject it. So idea of God as a personality has had its day. Its sell-by date is gone. I'm telling you, for modern thinking youth, idea of a God in heaven or gods and goddesses, their sell-by date is gone. Very bluntly, it's a horrible thing to suggest, because with Hinduism we have lots of them. But we realize why we created them, to build relationship with our own nature, to become more empowered, to become more compassionate, to become more educated. We created all this. Nothing wrong, provided you know why and how you created it and what are these limitations. It's true in science too. In science, what do? They start with a hypothesis, one hypothesis, a model, mathematical model. And they will say, well, now we've outgrown it. Like Newtonian gravitation, we outgrown it, so we just discard it gently. It doesn't say it's horrible. It still can be used for simple mathematics. But you discard it and say, okay, Einstein's relativity gives a better explanation for gravitation. So in the same way, this idea of gods and goddesses is very useful in its own time and are still useful for many Hindus who can only relate to idea of God or religion in a very personalized manner. Let it be. We are magnanimous people. We say that is their way of relating to spirituality. Let it be. If we are more mature and say, no, 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 we want to think of this religion in a much more mature manner. Who are we? What is all this about? Then you come to Atman and Brahman. Something underpinning this reality which is greater and grander than you could ever imagine. And this is, if you like, the two flavors of Hinduism. If you like, a personality-oriented Hinduism with all the gods and goddesses, and a principle-oriented Hinduism which talks of spirituality as the underpinning to this reality. There are two different flavors. When you get philosophic challenges, the personality-oriented Hinduism will shudder. Same with every monotheist religion. They shudder. They crack up. You need to shift to a principle-oriented Hinduism that stands very well. It agrees with physics. It agrees with common sense. This is the transition. You need to see both sides of personality-oriented and principle-oriented Hinduism.